Narrative. The tale of our matrimony unfolds with the intricacies of a novel, characterized by the complexities of human relationships and the trials that test the bonds of love. At the tender ages of 27 and 24, my wife and I embarked on this journey of marriage, brimming with youthful exuberance but lacking the seasoned wisdom that time bestows. Yet, our hearts were intertwined with a love that weathered the tempests, guiding us through the turbulent waters of life. As the sands of time continued their relentless march forward, we found ourselves blessed with the gift of parenthood, nurturing our daughter and son with the tender care that only parents can provide. Our careers blossomed, each of us carving our paths in the world of business and engineering, respectively, our toils rewarded with financial stability that paved the way for a comfortable existence. Our family, a tight-knit unit, cherished the moments we shared, weaving a tapestry of memories that would endure the test of time. Despite the demands of our professions, we made it a priority to carve out moments of togetherness, fostering bonds that transcended the mundane routines of daily life. However, amidst the facade of familial bliss, cracks began to emerge, subtle at first, but gradually widening into chasms that threatened to engulf our union. My wife, ensconced in her role as a manager at a prestigious advertising firm, seemed to drift away, her thoughts and desires veiled behind a mask of professional decorum. The whispers of discontent grew louder, echoing in the hollow chambers of my heart as I grappled with the realization that something was amiss. It was in the throes of uncertainty that the truth unfurled its bitter tendrils, casting a shadow over the idyllic tableau of our lives. The discovery of my wife's clandestine affair, a revelation as devastating as it was unexpected, shattered the fragile semblance of normalcy that we had painstakingly constructed. The betrayal cut deep, a wound that festered with each passing moment, leaving me adrift in a sea of anguish and disbelief. Yet, in the midst of despair, a flicker of hope remained, a beacon guiding me through the murky depths of despair. Determined not to surrender to despair, I embarked on a journey of reconciliation, armed with the fervent desire to salvage what remained of our fractured bond. With each passing day, I mustered the courage to confront the demons that haunted our marriage, navigating the treacherous terrain of forgiveness and redemption. The path to healing was fraught with obstacles, each step forward marred by the specter of doubt and mistrust. Yet, through perseverance and unwavering resolve, we began to rebuild the tattered remnants of our love, stitching together the fragments of our shattered dreams with threads of hope and forgiveness. And so, as the sun sets on the horizon of our shared existence, we stand at the precipice of a new beginning, our hearts entwined in a dance of redemption and renewal. Though scars may linger, a testament to the trials we have endured, they serve as a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of love to conquer even the darkest of nights. Amidst the tangled web of deceit and betrayal, the discovery of our spouse's clandestine affair unveiled a tapestry of lies that left us both seething with a fury as potent as it was consuming. Temptation whispered sweet promises of revenge, an eye for an eye, a heart for a heart shattered, but in the depths of our souls, we knew that sinking to their level would only perpetuate the cycle of pain and suffering. For 2 long years, they had carried on their illicit liaison, weaving a web of deception that ensnared not only their hearts but also our trust. Their trysts knew no bounds, clandestine meetings in shadowed corners, exchanged pictures that mocked the sanctity of our union. Yet we remained resolute in our determination not to succumb to the same moral decay that had consumed them. As the tendrils of betrayal tightened their grip around our hearts, we found solace in the silent solidarity of our shared suffering, drawing strength from the knowledge that we were not alone in our anguish. Together, we forged a pact, a silent vow to rise above the ashes of our shattered dreams and emerge stronger, unbroken by the storm that threatened to engulf us. Divorce papers, inked with the weight of our shattered hopes, lay testament to our resolve to sever the ties that bound us to our betrayers, each signature a painful reminder of the love lost and the trust betrayed. Yet, even in the face of adversity, we refused to surrender to bitterness, choosing instead to confront our tormentors with a steely resolve that mirrored the fire that burned within our souls. Collaborating with the boss's wife, we orchestrated a confrontation that would lay bare the truth for all to see, exposing the depths of their deceit in a blaze of righteous fury. As the sheriff delivered the damning papers, we stood as silent witnesses to the unraveling of their carefully constructed facade, the shock etched upon their faces a bitter vindication of our pain. In the aftermath of the confrontation, As tears mingled with accusations and apologies, I found myself torn between the echoes of a love lost and the bitter sting of betrayal. My wife's pleas for forgiveness fell upon deaf ears, her words a hollow echo of the trust that had been shattered beyond repair. And yet, as the dust settled and the ashes of our shattered dreams scattered to the winds, a glimmer of hope emerged from the wreckage of our broken hearts. For in the crucible of our pain, we found the strength to rebuild, to forge a new path forged not in the shadows of our past but in the light of a future untainted by betrayal. As we navigate the treacherous waters of reconciliation, I am haunted by the specter of doubt, a whispering voice that taunts me with visions of what could have been. And yet, in the quiet moments of solitude, I find solace in the knowledge that true love knows no bounds, that even in the darkest of nights, the promise of a new dawn awaits. So, as we stand on the precipice of a new beginning, I cling to the fragile threads of hope that bind us together, praying that love will prevail where betrayal once reigned supreme. For in the end, it is not the scars of our past that define us, but the strength of our resolve to rise above the ashes and embrace the promise of a future unbound by the sins of our past. In the swirling vortex of emotions that has engulfed us in the aftermath of the revelation, my wife's attempts at reconciliation feel like feeble echoes in the vast expanse of my disillusionment. She clamors for my attention, desperate to bridge the chasm that divides us, but I find myself deafened by the roar of my own resentment. Unwilling to entertain her explanations, which to me seem like mere excuses crafted to assuage her guilt. She suggests therapy as a panacea for our fractured bond, yet I recoil at the thought, haunted by the specter of blame that often accompanies such endeavors. I refuse to be cast as the villain in this tragic narrative, a scapegoat for her transgressions, and so I dismiss her pleas with a resounding no. Infidelity books. She proposes, a futile attempt to mend what lies irreparably broken, but what purpose could they serve in a marriage destined for dissolution? Her desire to cling to the vestiges of our love, to salvage what remains of our shattered dreams, rings hollow in the face of her betrayal. I want to be with you, she declares, her words dripping with desperation, but I see through the veneer of her affection, recognizing it for what it truly is, manipulation veiled as love. I rib off her advances, wary of the trap she lays before me, refusing to be swayed by her counterfeit displays of affection. As the storm of our emotions rages on, I stand firm in my resolve, refusing to be swayed by false promises and hollow declarations. The path ahead may be fraught with uncertainty, but I refuse to sacrifice my dignity on the altar of her deceit. In the end, it is my own integrity that I cling to, a beacon of light amidst the darkness of betrayal. Others, well-meaning in their ignorance, urge me to reconsider, to give her another chance, to forgive and forget. But how can I forgive a betrayal so profound, a breach of trust that cuts to the core of my being? I am not a mere fallback plan, a safety net to catch her when all else fails. I deserve more than to be treated as an afterthought, a consolation prize in the wreckage of her infidelity. Yet, amidst the turmoil of my conflicting emotions, there remains a kernel of love buried beneath layers of hurt and resentment. I cannot deny that I still care for her despite the bitterness that taints our interactions. Am I being unnecessarily cruel? I wonder, to withhold forgiveness, to deny her the chance at redemption that she so desperately seeks? The answer eludes me, lost in the labyrinth of my own doubts and fears. And so, I press on, navigating the uncertain terrain of our fractured relationship with a heavy heart and a weary soul. Update to those who have expressed concern. I offer my gratitude for your empathy and understanding. My wife and I find ourselves in a precarious state, teetering on the edge of reconciliation yet ultimately destined for separate paths. The wounds inflicted by her prolonged affair run too deep for me to overlook, a painful reminder of the betrayal that lingers like a shadow over our union. I have accompanied her to therapy sessions, not out of a desire to salvage our marriage, but out of a sense of duty and compassion. One session, in particular, brought clarity to her remorse, offering a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness of our shared pain. Yet, subsequent sessions devolved into arguments and accusations, highlighting the chasm that still divides us. As for my continued contact with the boss's wife, it serves not as a means of retribution but as a reaffirmation of my commitment to transparency and honesty. I have promised my wife that there will be no revenge affair, a pledge made not out of obligation but out of respect for the vows we once shared. In the end, My actions are driven not by a desire to punish or retaliate, but by a steadfast resolve to uphold the values that define me as a person. Our journey may be fraught with uncertainty, but I will continue to navigate it with integrity and grace, guided by the unwavering belief that true healing can only come from within. Gracefully navigates the tumultuous waters of divorce, a journey fraught with uncertainty and emotional upheaval. The boss's wife, a steadfast ally in this turbulent time, stands resolute in her determination to sever ties with her husband, even as he clings desperately to the remnants of their fractured marriage. Despite our shared trials, our relationship remains platonic, grounded in mutual respect and camaraderie forged in the crucible of our shared pain. As the threads of our lives unravel, my children remain the steadfast pillars of my existence, their unwavering support a beacon of light in the darkness of our fractured family dynamic. Though they grapple with the complexities of divorce, they understand that our love for them remains unchanged, a comforting reassurance amidst the chaos that surrounds us. Meanwhile, my wife's departure from her former workplace marks a symbolic break from the past, a tangible reminder of the choices that led us to this juncture. Her commitment to maintaining strict no-contact boundaries with her former boss speaks volumes about her desire to rebuild trust and salvage what remains of our fractured marriage. In the wake of her infidelity, my wife has embarked on a journey of self-discovery and redemption, seeking solace and guidance in online forums and self-help resources. Though her efforts to atone for her transgressions are commendable, I remain wary of the road ahead, unsure if forgiveness is within my grasp. As the divorce looms on the horizon, I find myself torn between conflicting emotions, grappling with the weight of past betrayals and the prospect of a future untethered from the shackles of resentment. Though my wife offers everything in her power to earn my trust and affection once more, I remain hesitant, wary of the wounds that still fester beneath the surface. Yet, amid the chaos of our crumbling marriage, a sense of peace begins to emerge, a quiet acceptance of the inevitability of our parting. As we contemplate a future apart, I am confronted with the stark reality of my own desires, grappling with the fleeting allure of vengeance and the enduring power of forgiveness. In the midst of my own turmoil, my relationship with my mother undergoes a tumultuous transformation, as she grapples with her own anger and disappointment over my wife's infidelity. Though our bond has weathered its fair share of storms, I remain hopeful that time will heal the wounds that divide us, forging a path toward reconciliation and understanding. As I navigate the complexities of divorce, I find solace in the support of online communities, where I can vent my frustrations and seek guidance from those who have walked this path before me. Though the journey ahead is fraught with uncertainty, I take comfort in the knowledge that I am not alone, surrounded by a network of kindred spirits who understand the intricacies of my pain. And so, as I continue on this journey of self-discovery and healing, I am reminded of the resilience of the human spirit, the capacity for redemption that lies within us all. Though the road ahead may be fraught with obstacles, I remain steadfast in my determination to forge a path toward healing and wholeness, guided by the light of hope that burns bright within my heart. As I sat across from my wife, the weight of my decision to divorce her bore down on me heavily. Despite my resolute determination to end our marriage, I couldn't shake the pang of guilt that gnawed at me as I gazed into her eyes, desperately searching for remnants of the woman I had once deeply loved amidst the ruins of our shattered relationship. Her pleas for another chance tugged at my heartstrings, each word a poignant testament to her longing for redemption in the face of my unwavering resolve to sever the ties that had bound us for so long. The therapy session that followed was an emotional roller coaster, with raw emotions bubbling to the surface as I laid bare the pain and anguish that had been festering within me for far too long. My wife's desperate pleas for forgiveness reverberated in the sterile confines of the therapist's office, serving as a stark reminder of the love that still lingered between us despite the scars that marred our once perfect union. In a rare moment of vulnerability, my wife bared her soul, confessing to the insecurities and jealousy that had driven her into the arms of another. Her admission cut me to the core, laying bare the human frailty that lurked beneath the facade of her infidelity, a fleeting fantasy born out of her own sense of inadequacy and self-doubt. Yet, even as I grappled with the complexities of her confession, I found myself questioning whether I could ever truly forgive her for the betrayal that had shattered the foundation of our marriage. Was it possible to mend the irreparable damage that had been inflicted upon our relationship? Or were we destined to remain forever haunted by the ghosts of our past transgressions? As we drove home in silence, the weight of our shared pain hung heavy in the air, a palpable reminder of the chasm that still divided us. And as the miles stretched out before us, I couldn't help but wonder if there was any hope left for our shattered marriage, or if we were destined to remain forever trapped in a cycle of pain and regret. As we navigate the uncertain terrain of our fractured marriage, I am confronted with the harsh reality of my own emotions, torn between the desire for closure and the lingering hope of redemption. Can our love endure, I wonder, or are we fated to remain forever entwined in a web of resentment and regret? In the end, only time will tell if our love is strong enough to weather the storm that rages within us, or if we are doomed to repeat the mistakes of our past. But one thing remains certain: no matter what the future may hold, I will always cherish the memories of the love we once shared, a beacon of light in the darkness of our fractured hearts. It was a surprising turn of events when my wife broached the subject of my emasculation in the wake of her affair, catching me off guard with her directness. She proposed a trial separation, a notion that seemed absurd to me at first, suggesting that I explore other relationships while she remained faithful, awaiting my return when I felt ready. However, despite her calm demeanor and newfound patience, I remained skeptical of her motives, wary of her sudden generosity in the divorce proceedings. As we navigate the complexities of our impending divorce, my wife and I have chosen to set aside our differences for the sake of our children, coming together to celebrate the holidays one last time as a family. While my wife holds on to hope for reconciliation, I remain steadfast in my decision to move forward with the divorce, uncertain of what the future holds for us. Despite her efforts to bridge the gap between us, I find myself resisting her attempts at closeness, unable to shake the lingering sense of betrayal that hangs over our relationship like a dark cloud. Though she insists that her intentions are pure, I cannot help but question her sincerity, wondering if her newfound eagerness stems from a genuine desire to repair our fractured bond or simply a ploy to assuage her guilt. In the midst of this emotional turmoil, I find myself grappling with conflicting emotions, torn between the longing for intimacy and the fear of reopening old wounds. As my wife continues to reach out to me, I am faced with the daunting task of reconciling my own desires with the reality of our situation, unsure if closeness is even possible in the aftermath of her betrayal. Meanwhile, the other betrayed spouse remains a source of confusion and uncertainty in my life, her confession of interest adding yet another layer of complexity to an already tangled web of emotions. Despite our mutual understanding, I cannot help but feel torn between loyalty to my wife and the allure of a new connection. As I grapple with these conflicting emotions, I am left with more questions than answers, uncertain of what the future holds for me and my family. Yet, amidst the uncertainty, one thing remains clear: I am determined to forge a path forward, guided by the unwavering belief that true healing can only come from within. My wife's sudden change of heart, her eagerness to please and placate me, it all feels like a cruel twist of fate, a bitter reminder of what could have been. And yet, amidst the chaos of my emotions, a sense of liberation begins to take hold, a realization that I am no longer bound by the shackles of her betrayal. As I reflect on the years wasted on a relationship that was never truly fulfilling, I am struck by a newfound sense of clarity, a clarity that tells me I deserve better. My wife may have given me great kids and cherished memories, but she also robbed me of my self-worth, investing her energy in another man while neglecting the sanctity of our marriage. Now, as she scrambles to salvage what remains of our fractured relationship, I find myself torn between resentment and compassion, between the desire for closure and the longing for redemption. Can I ever truly forgive her, I wonder, or am I doomed to carry the weight of her betrayal for the rest of my days? Yet, amidst the turmoil of my emotions, a glimmer of hope begins to emerge, a hope that tells me I am worthy of love and respect, that I deserve to be treated with kindness and dignity. And so, as I prepare to embark on this new chapter of my life, I do so with a sense of optimism and determination, guided by the knowledge that I am capable of so much more than I ever thought possible. As I reach out to the other betrayed spouse, offering her thanks for her unwavering support, I am reminded of the strength that lies within us all, the strength to rise above adversity and chart a course toward a brighter future. And though the road ahead may be fraught with uncertainty, I walk it with my head held high, knowing that I am finally free to pursue my own happiness on my own terms. Amidst the turmoil of divorce, a bittersweet sense of relief washes over me as the legal proceedings draw to a close. The finality of it all hits me like a ton of bricks, triggering a wave of emotions that I struggle to navigate. Yet, even in the midst of my grief, there is a glimmer of hope, a newfound sense of liberation that comes with the realization that I am finally free from the chains of a failed marriage. As I reflect on the dissolution of my relationship, I can't help but feel a sense of disillusionment with the institution of marriage itself. What once seemed like a sacred bond now feels like nothing more than a hollow facade, a cruel illusion that left me feeling betrayed and broken. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but one that I must accept if I am to move forward with my life. In the wake of the divorce, my ex-wife's efforts to salvage our relationship fall on deaf ears, as I remain steadfast in my decision to keep my distance. While I am committed to co-parenting our children, I cannot allow myself to be drawn back into a toxic relationship that has already caused me so much pain. And yet, amidst the chaos of my emotions, there is a ray of light shining through the darkness. A chance encounter with the other betrayed spouse leads to a night of unexpected passion and intimacy, a fleeting moment of connection that leaves me feeling alive and desired in ways I never thought possible. Though I am hesitant to pursue a relationship with her further, I cannot deny the profound impact she has had on my life. In her, I have found a sense of validation and understanding that was sorely lacking in my marriage, a reminder that I am worthy of love and affection despite the scars of my past. As I look to the future, I am filled with a sense of optimism and determination, ready to embrace whatever challenges lie ahead. Though the road may be long and fraught with obstacles, I am confident that I have the strength and resilience to overcome them, guided by the wisdom and support of those who have helped me along the way. Together, we navigated the complexities of our respective situations, finding solace in each other's understanding and empathy. As I reflect on the lessons learned from my tumultuous journey, I am reminded of the importance of self-respect and setting boundaries in relationships. No one should ever tolerate disrespect, regardless of the relationship's closeness. Every individual deserves a healthy and fulfilling partnership, one characterized by mutual respect and genuine affection. It's crucial not to settle for anything less than what you deserve from your partner. A committed relationship should be built on a foundation of trust, communication, and intimacy. If your partner fails to meet your needs or neglects to put in the effort required to maintain a satisfying connection, it's essential to address your concerns openly and honestly. Don't settle for a relationship devoid of passion or excitement. Instead, strive for a partnership that enriches your life and brings you joy. Communication is key in any relationship, especially when navigating challenges such as infidelity. It's vital to express your feelings and concerns openly, allowing for honest dialogue and the opportunity to work through issues together. While betrayal can cause immense pain and trauma, healing ultimately begins from within. Only you can truly heal yourself, and it's essential to prioritize your emotional well-being throughout the recovery process. As I continue to move forward with my life, I am committed to embracing the lessons learned from my past experiences and forging a brighter future for myself and my loved ones. While the road ahead may be uncertain, I am confident in my ability to overcome obstacles and emerge stronger than ever before. And as I bid farewell to this chapter of my life, I am filled with gratitude for the support and encouragement I have received along the way. Here's to new beginnings and the promise of better days ahead. Relationship discreet, especially around the kids, to avoid overwhelming them or causing any additional stress during this period of adjustment. Communication with my children remains a top priority, ensuring that they feel heard and supported as they navigate the complexities of our new family dynamic. My son, at the tender age of 10, has taken a shine to the other betrayed spouse, finding comfort and companionship in her presence. On the other hand, my 15-year-old daughter is taking a bit more time to come to terms with the changes. While she ultimately wants me to find happiness, she remains cautious and is still processing her emotions. We've had candid discussions about healthy relationships and her concerns, and while she needs time to adjust, she's been supportive of my decisions thus far. However, the strain of the affair fallout on my daughter's relationship with her mother is undeniable. She harbors deep-seated resentment, believing that her mother's actions are the root cause of our family's upheaval. Her behavior has become increasingly rebellious, openly rejecting affection and displaying outright hostility towards her mother. As a parent, it pains me to witness this strained dynamic, and while I've intervened to enforce respect, I worry about the long-term effects on my daughter's emotional well-being. Despite the challenges, I've chosen not to use my ex-wife's infidelity as ammunition in our co-parenting efforts. Instead, I've encouraged her attempts to mend her relationship with our daughter, even though it was my decision to end our marriage. However, doubts linger, and I grapple with concerns about whether I've handled the situation appropriately. My daughter's progress in therapy remains uncertain, and I fear she may feel voiceless or overwhelmed by the weight of our family's turmoil. Yet, amidst the complexities of co-parenting and navigating post-divorce life, there is a silver lining: my relationship with the other betrayed spouse. Despite the trials and tribulations we've faced, our bond continues to flourish, serving as a beacon of hope in an otherwise tumultuous journey. While we've chosen to keep our relationship at the girlfriend level for now, the depth of our connection is undeniable, and I find myself falling more deeply in love with her with each passing day. As we navigate the uncertainties of the future, I remain cautiously optimistic, guided by the love and support of those who have stood by me throughout this transformative chapter of my life. We've opted to keep our relationship low-key, especially concerning the children, aiming to shield them from unnecessary involvement. Initially, their adjustment wasn't smooth sailing, but with our consistent presence and commitment to being there for them, things have taken a turn for the better. Therapy has played a significant role in helping them navigate their emotions. Remarkably, my daughter and son have developed a strong bond with the other betrayed spouse. She possesses a natural affinity with children, and her own kids have warmed up to me considerably over the past couple of years. The unexpected declaration from her youngest, regarding me as her stepdad, tugged at my heartstrings, reinforcing the significance of our blended family dynamic. Witnessing all the kids, united in their playful antics, brings me immense joy, even if my son occasionally bears the brunt of their teasing. As for my ex-wife, our relationship has evolved into an amicable co-parenting dynamic. She's earnestly working on rebuilding her connection with our daughter, and I'm encouraged by the progress they've made. While she appears to be striving for a second chance, I've come to terms with our past and am focused on moving forward. Her attempts at self-improvement, while commendable, don't sway my resolve. On the other hand, the other betrayed spouse remains wary of my ex-wife given the tumultuous history between us. Meanwhile, OM's post-divorce life is far from smooth sailing despite his affluent status. His new girlfriend doesn't seem to fare well with his children, which only adds to the complications of his already messy situation. In summary, despite the initial uncertainties, our collective efforts have resulted in a positive outcome. While there may not be a fairy tale ending, there's genuine contentment and a sense of fulfillment in our newfound stability.